Nathan Hayfield's heroic words deeply moved the crowd in the stadium. Most of them had felt the weight of House Raven on their shoulders at some point, whether it was the lower house nobles who secretly prayed to avoid Remus Raven's greed-filled gaze, or the common people who were treated like replaceable cattle by his men. They hoped that the Hayfields would somehow come out victorious, however improbable.
"Well said, young Master Hayfield. We stand with you." "That's right. That's how you do it. Spoken like a true warrior." "Despite the odds, that noble kid's got guts. Heavens bless him." "If all the houses spoke for the people as House Hayfield does, Godric's land would be the strongest fiefdom in the realm."
It was clear that Nathan's sentiment was extremely popular. Many of the people in the stands were common-born warriors themselves, and they marveled at the young boy's words, knowing full well the incredible might of House Raven and what he would be up against. Spurred on by the support from the crowd, Nathan grinned as he waved his sword in the air and then let it rest, pointing loosely toward House Raven's place in the stands. Nathan did not mince his words as he spoke, for Nathan knew he had the people's hearts behind him. "All of us know of the High Lord Raven's greed. All of us know of the sacking of his own villages when they fail to meet his impossible expectations. We've seen the suffering screams of his people and done nothing. Well, no longer. By the end of this examination, I will free those citizens of House Raven's tyranny." Remus Raven responded vehemently to Nathan's last remark. "You lying knave! Shut your stupid yap, or we'll shut it for you." "Go ahead and try it, scoundrel. I, Nathan Hayfield, would rather fall to 1,000 cuts than submit to your house's will. If you want to steal my family seat, go ahead and take it. I'd much rather own your title myself." The crowd's jaws dropped. Nobody could believe that such valiant words came from the mouth of a mere 14-year-old boy. The common folk in the audience loved every second of it, spurring on the stare-off between Nathan and Remus.
"Well said, young warrior. Well said. Spoken like a true champion of legend. The bards will forever know this day, that's for sure." "Things have been static for far too long. It's time for the noble houses of Godric's land to prove their power or step aside."
Nathan smiled as he realized what he'd done to the crowd. Thousands roared as they stood up out of their seats and cheered, their blood boiling over from excitement. How could they not admire such a brave young warrior who refused to admit defeat in the face of a great villainous adversary? On top of this, Nathan's strong words began to give the crowd hope that maybe he did, in fact, have the power to overcome House Raven. Some of the more experienced warriors among them could even sense the powerful magic aura brimming from Nathan's body. Meanwhile, the High Lord Raven also sprang from his seat. As he screamed at Nathan from the stands, several of his men held him back. "Mark my words, boy. You'll regret the day you stood against me for the rest of your days. My men will hack down you and your family with ease." "Bring it on. I'm afraid you don't have enough lackeys at your side to satisfy my blade, so it'll have to feast on you as well." "We'll see about that." Finally, the High Lord Raven shoved aside the men that held him and jumped down into the arena. But rather than go directly to Nathan, he turned to the host of the ceremony. "Host, I have something to ask you. Only family members of the mentioned houses may fight. Is that correct? There are no sellswords or other backers involved in the duels?" "That is correct, Lord Raven. Families must win their titles with their own strength alone. That has and always will be the law." "That's good to hear." The High Lord Raven visibly relaxed. After all, this meant that the Lightstones could not save the Hayfields this time. Finally, Remus would have a chance to crush Ulrich and his children on the field of battle. The host then turned to Nathan and approached him calmly. "Young man, I assume only you and your father wish to fight in the challenge?" "Yes, sir, and I shall go first." The host nodded his head. He had heard of Nathan's previous duels and already believed that the young man was a gifted warrior. "Good. Now, you must understand how the ceremony works. The challenge is won over the course of 3 duels. The first duel is 1 versus 1, but after that, if the winner wishes to continue fighting, they must then face 2 opponents, and after that, 3 opponents all on their own." So what you're saying is, if I wish to fight all 3 duels, I'll have to face 1, then 2, then 3 opponents on my own? The crowd murmured as the host and Nathan spoke. It was already an impossible task to fight 3 expert warriors of House Raven and live, but to fight a total of 6 warriors was simply impossible. Or, you can always yield and let your father fight a duel. Then, he'd have to face only 1. Yes, but my blade will likely hunger for more souls than just 1 or 2. I will fight all 3 duels, if possible. Even as the crowd cheered, the general consensus was that the comfort of Nathan's words would soon fade and be replaced by the sounds of House Hayfield's screams. The general consensus among onlookers was that Nathan's actions, however brave, had cursed his family to an ugly fate and early demise. Most of the stronger families in the land only had 1 high-level swordsman in their households. Even that was usually enough to secure a noble title in the fiefdom of Godric's land. But House Raven was full of dozens of extremely skilled warriors. Any one of them had the ability to strike down any challengers, particularly Nathan and Ulrich. As a result, the crowd's encouragements, though positive, were tinged with sadness. "Good of you, Nathan. Do not shy away from your fate, however dark it may seem." "That's right. So what if it's 1 against 3? Do not fear death, young warrior, and the heavens shall smile down at you." "Go on, House Hayfield. Go on to glory. Even if you fall, we shall all remember you." As the applause continued, the High Lord Raven scoffed at Nathan. "1 against 3. How preposterous! Ulrich Hayfield could barely manage against 1 of my men, let alone 3. Their blubbering boasts will only get them so far." Once more, the host cut through the crowd as he announced his final words. "Listen up, all. The first challenge duels shall occur tomorrow at dawn, starting with House Coldbrook. The last duel shall be between House Hayfield and House Raven. That is all. I bid you all a good day." The host walked off out of the arena as the crowd broke up and headed back home for the day. Nathan smiled as he sheathed his family's broadsword and met his father's gaze in the crowd. Over the following 2 days, the 4 other challenges were fought in the dueling field beneath the stands of the Grand Stadium. Considering each matchup consisted of 3 duels, the days were long and full of bloodshed. The sounds of the crowds echoed out into the empty streets of the fiefdom's capital whenever a killing blow was struck or when a noble house lost its seat. During this time, Nathan stayed away from the stadium. He had no desire to watch the fights and instead spent his time relaxing, praying to the heavens, and clearing his mind. He reflected on how thankful he was to be in this new, young body, how grateful he was to his new family, and how ready he was to face his sworn enemies. He knew the road ahead would not be easy, but he was confident in his own abilities as he sat in his hotel room and sipped on his dexterity potion. Nathan's brow furrowed. He was not expecting visitors, and he saw his door was open. Where could the knocks be coming from? Soon, he sensed the noise and opened up the second-story window.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.